Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eileen Lundblom. I am Director of Non-Agency Lending here at Flagstar. Excited to do today's Flex series with Raj Parekh from LoanNEX. Raj is the SVP of Business Development at LoanNEX. He has over 15 years in senior sales and entrepreneurial executive experience, building startup companies, managing sales, marketing, and operations. Raj was previously the managing director of Loan Scorecard, a cloud-based automated underwriting system designed specifically for non-agency lenders and investors. He's also held executive positions at Accelerate, Active Prospect, and LeadPoint. He's the founder and CEO of Lead ROI, one of the first lead management and CRM solutions for consumer lending. He holds a BS from University of Kansas and JD from University of Tulsa College of Law. Let's bring Raj on.
Hey, Eileen. How are you?
Hi, Raj. And Raj, I will just say these things with him on the stage here. He is an avid guitar collector and a hardcore motorcyclist. Is that right?
That's why I have this haircut. Usually my hair is longer during the during the winter months, but in the summer months I do this because I'm in a helmet a lot.
And I will tell you guys a little secret. I met Raj about a year ago, and I have been struggling forever saying his last name, and I have finally learned to say it correctly, Parekh. So we will go with that.
That is this. I love to hear you say it correctly. But I'm not a John Smith, so it's understandable if some people get it wrong.
It's
sometimes.
A great name. I know you said Americans have troubles with names, and yes, I agree with you. So let's first start by talking about the non-QM space. How do you view the non-QM space? Its current and steady growth, and where do things look like for you?
Yeah, so my world in non-QM started. I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of history since you mentioned Loan Scorecard. I worked for a company in 2016, 17 called Calyx Software. So if there are any brokers that are on the Flex series right now, you're probably familiar with Calyx Point. It's a kind of the first loan origination system in the space. And it's very broker focused. They had a sister company called Loan Scorecard, and what we were doing there was we were developing a non-agency AUS, kind of like a DU or an LPA for non-QM. So that's where I really started getting into the non-QM business, and the business was really growing, year after year, 2016 to 17 to 18. All these new entrants and investors were coming into play, and all the same products that we're going to be talking about today, bank statement, DSCR, were all being talked about, asset depletion products. And what was being discussed back then in the 2018-19 era was like, wow, there are a lot of self-employed borrowers on here, and they're underserved in the agency market. And that's why investors were getting into non-QM. Of course, we all know that growth was just steadily going up through 19 and 20, and then COVID happened and the bottom fell out from non-agency lending. So, and the whole time, LoanNEX was a company that was also building its technology and what they were doing then. And we kept an eye on it, and sure enough, one of the first things to come back, slowly come back was non-agency lending. Why? Because there are a lot of people that fell out of the workforce, and there are a lot of people that started their own businesses. So investors started realizing, hey, this self-employed borrower still needs to be served out there. So I got back, I joined LoanNEX, and ever since I've joined LoanNEX, I've been really bullish about non-QM. There are more investors participating in non-QM today than ever before. There are lenders like your banks, like yourself, that are getting into play. There are 21 million, self-employed borrowers out there that need to be served. There are tons of people investing in second homes and investment properties. It's a wonderful time to be in non-QM, and we think that over the next, 2-3 years at least, we're pretty bullish on it. We were on a call with people from um, um, Vista Point yesterday, and one of our clients, and they were saying how second lien products are really coming into play now because of so much equity in the home, and consumers having debt and pulling out that equity to take care of some of their debts. So we're pretty bullish on it. I think non-QM is here to stay. And with all the participants and all the different types of investors that are playing in it, it seems like it's a pretty good place to be right now. And for originators, it's obviously a great place to be because as your agency stuff, I'm not refinancing my 2.75 mortgage, but I may be buying an investment property. So it's a great place for originators to really kind of think about putting
I
new.
agree with you, and that's why Flagstar decided to enter into the non-QM business as well.
Good.
We have seen an increase in our volume as we've been recognized more and more in the industry as being in this space, and it's a critical product for now and for the future. And when we talk about self-employed borrowers, COVID was a game changer there. There's a lot
Totally.
of people went out of business, but a lot of people decided to start businesses during that period as well.
Yeah.
So
There's
it's
this
all
whole
great
thing.
timing.
There's this whole thing about the gig economy out there, where people are Uber drivers and DoorDash drivers and all these people that are getting into the workforce. They need to be served out there. They're buying homes. They will be buying homes. Interest rates, while they may seem high today, are not historically that high. So um, once it settles into people that, hey, rates are going to be around 5, 6, 7, I think the activity will come back up. But the originator, needs to be educated about these products that are out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So LoanNEX, tell me about LoanNEX. What
Yeah.
is it all about?
So LoanNEX is a very interesting experience. I came on board LoanNEX in 2022, and at the time, LoanNEX has always been a pricing engine. But one of the things that makes LoanNEX different than other pricing engines is that everybody that's on this call or that's watching this webinar has probably, crossed paths with a pricing engine at some point, where they go in and they key in a scenario to see what products are available, what pricing is available. It's a product pricing and eligibility engine at the end of the day. But we kind of differentiate ourselves in a couple of different ways. We knew that the pricing engine is not only a place to do discovery, but it was also an opportunity to be able to collaborate directly with an AE or a scenario desk. Non-QM is a high-touch business. It's different than agency lending, where the eligibility criteria are kind of known for agency loans and the type of agency loans. There are few overlays. But in non-QM, there is very high-touch, exception-based type of business. So we wanted to develop a pricing engine that really catered to that really made non-agency easy for originators, and they didn't have to go in and really spend a lot of time reading through guidelines. They could come to a pricing engine and key in a scenario, and we would walk them through this process and give them opportunities to collaborate with the people that they're working with the buyers that they're working with, the investors that they're working with. So originators love our platform because they can do that enhanced program discovery in our pricing engine, run scenarios, test scenarios, structure deals, collaborate with their AEs or their scenario desk. And then investors like our platform. We work with a lot of investors like yourself, Eileen, that to distribute their products through our pricing engine. So that they through the distribution, they can get qualified leads and a lot of interest from brokers and correspondents that may want to see their products. And then we're also, just like any pricing engine, have full enterprise capabilities. So we do full lock management. We have integrations into Encompass and other LOSs, broker LOSs. And we do a full lock management, just like you would expect an enterprise pricing engine to do.
And Raj, are you just doing non-QM products on your platform, or is it a little more expansive than that?
So, that's a great question. We have really, over the last few years, really focused on non-QM. Not that we can't do agency, but because of the way that we've designed our product, we've really wanted to kind of hit it out of the park. So we have right now have the highest cross section of non-QM investors and wholesale lenders in our platform, of any pricing engine out there. So we really wanted to kind of hit the ball out of the park for non-QM. But absolutely, the future of LoanNEX is we're going to have agency programs and products in there as well. And we'll have more integrations into more loan origination platforms and loan acquisition platforms, is absolutely the long-term focus of it. But one of the reasons why we have done this, if we could bring that slide up again, we've taken a very a deliberate design choice in how we've kind of made the product. It's very non-agency specific right now. For eligibility and pricing, we've made it so it's dynamic and intuitive and it's easy to navigate. So originators can come in and just immediately understand how to key in a scenario. We have all the expanded loan and borrower attributes that are captured in our in the scenario fields, so non-QM programs get priced more accurately. And then we've also done something where, because non-QM guidelines can be expansive sometimes, we have this eligibility soft guideline Q&A component where an originator can come in, key in a scenario, and then if they really want to, without digging through the matrices and guidelines, if they want to understand whether their borrower is fully eligible for this program, they can click on the eligibility Q&A and answer those questions. And in line, we will tell them whether the borrower is eligible, like if there's an acreage requirement or if there's a trade line requirement. We capture all of that in that eligibility Q&A. It just kind of demystifies the whole non-QM process for the originators. So they're not having to go through, and read pages of guidelines. They could just price it, answer the eligibility Q&A questions, and really understand if their borrower fits into a particular program. And then, of course, that deal structuring component where you can share your scenario with your AE or with a scenario desk of your investor, all of those components make it really easy to use and to navigate through these products, utilizing LoanNEX. That's why we've kind of focused on non-QM, because we want to really make it easy for the originator to do that. But yes, we will be doing agency in the very near future.
And who are your competitors in this space, and what's your value proposition versus the competitors?
So, I think all of these guys, everybody's heard of Optimal Blue, the 800-pound gorilla in the industry. I consider them a competitor. There's a company out there called Lender Price that does pricing, and they kind of focus on the agency side and have some non-QM lenders in their kind of very wholesale focused. Poly is another company out there that does more capital markets type of stuff. And we play in all of those particular fields. I think the differentiator for us is you are never going to find a larger group of non-QM investors and lenders in a platform than in LoanNEX. That's where we've kind of focused our energy. We've made it, and we've also focused our energy on making it easy for the originator. So a lot of these other companies focus on, wholesale distribution and wholesale lending. We've catered to all three channels: retail, wholesale, and correspondent. And I'll talk a little bit about how we cater to those particular areas. But those are our competitors, if you must know.
Thanks. So yeah, go through the rest of your slides. I'll just kind of poke questions you once in a while, and then if anybody does have any questions or comments, you can put them in the chat.
Yeah, so a little bit about the competitors. A lot of our other competitors, because they focus so much on agency, they don't capture these expanded loan and borrower attributes like LoanNEX does. So we see a lot of companies that will say, "Hey, I'm a Blue for agency lending, but we use LoanNEX for all of our for all of our non-agency pricing and lock management if they happen to be in Encompass or other integrated platforms. So that is a key differentiator. We've just really come at it from the non-agency side, which encompasses agency, but because we came at it from the non-agency side, the accuracy and the ease of pricing something in LoanNEX has just become. We support all these different income doc types, which is prevalent in NonQM, but yeah, that is one of the differentiating factors. We've also have a number of different entry points. One of the entry points, of course, for like we did for Flagstar, we could talk about a little bit what we've done there. For Flagstar, what we've done is we've created a entry point for your wholesale group. So your wholesale group, your brokers can come directly to flagstarws.loannex.com, and it is like a sandbox environment where a broker can go in, log into this environment, and price a loan, share a scenario with their AE, and it all happens within the system.
Yeah, and the fabulous thing about that too is we've made we've provided access to all of our broker clients for wholesale free of charge. As long as they are set up with us, they can go in and register, and that's just been brilliant.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I was going to say that for brokers who are not on it, if you make note of the URL Flagstar WS at .loannex.com, flagstarws.loannex.com, you'll come to the site and you can click on register, and as long as you put in your company name and company NMLS, we already know that you're approved with them, and we'll give you immediate access to the sandbox environment. For your correspondents, for those of you that are on this webinar that are correspondent lenders and are working with Flagstar and you want access to LoanNEX, there's a very easy process. You can go to flagstarcore.loannex.com, and when you click on register, it'll bring up a document that will give you a step-by-step on how you can get access to your own LoanNEX account, and then we'll release the Flagstar programs into your account. We also train youth on how to set up your own account in case you want to extend those programs out to your loan officers and add margins before you send them to your loan officers. We'll train you completely on that, a little bit different process than for wholesale. So flagstarws.loannex.com for wholesale, flagstarcore.loannex.com, and when you click on register there, it'll give you a step-by-step of how you can get your own LoanNEX account. Then your retail team uses it as they use it by going to retail.
Yeah, and just a couple of things to note. If you go on there and find out that your account's not working, there might be a timing difference if you were recently set up, and you can always reach out to your account executive to confirm, and we'll get you set up pretty quickly. The other thing that I wanted to just touch upon, and maybe you want to pen this question for a little bit later, is from the broker or the correspondent standpoint, if they want to do some kind of white labeling of their own, of our products, and make them available to their loan officers, is that possible? And if so, is that difficult to do?
That's a great question. Yeah, so for correspondents that want to white label Flagstar programs before they get, so loan officers see a white label or private label name, we call it private label. Yeah, absolutely. We support that entire workflow. And when we train you, by the way, if you're a core lender and when we train you on your platform, we'll show you exactly how to do that. So very easy to do. You could white label them. You can add margins. You can do all the things that you do. And by the way, when you have your own account, let's say you were working with Flagstar and two other investors that are on our platform, we could include their programs in your account as well, so you can have all of your non-QM takeouts in one account. So it becomes very convenient for you. We also have, for brokers, we have a couple of other entry points that I want to talk about. For those of you who are familiar with Loan Sifter, we have a Loan Sifter for non-QM, kind of. We call it the broker marketplace. So you could go to www.loannex.com and sign up for the broker marketplace, but it's for we have 27 non-QM lenders in there, including Flagstar's wholesale products in there. And you can run a scenario, and we'll show you every lender that offers a program, including Flagstar, right through the broker marketplace. And you can share scenarios directly with your AE from the broker marketplace. We also capture your NMLS, so we would know, hey, you're approved with Flagstar and you're approved with XYZ as well. And you could do all of that sharing there. It's very easy to use and navigate. And then for those of you, for brokers who are on the LendingPad LOS, we've integrated that broker marketplace experience in LendingPad LOS. So if you're on LendingPad, you don't see a LoanNEX and you get price drop down, reach out to us at support@loannex.com, or you see my email here below. You could reach out to me directly, and we could get that turned on for you in your LendingPad environment too. So Eileen, I know that you guys have you've done some entry into the space. Let's talk about some of the activity that we're seeing in LoanNEX, and then I'll parlay that to questions about the type of things that you guys, I know that you and I've had a discussion of what Flagstar is doing. So the part of the reason I'm so bullish about non-QM, on the left-hand side of this particular slide is the activity in LoanNEX. Look at what's happening. Look what's happened in our platform just from December of 2023, where we were doing 25,000 unique scenarios a month in our platform. In January, we jumped to over 32. In February, we jumped to 34,000, then from 34 to 41,000. And this last month, we jumped from 41 to 56,000 scenarios there that are being run in our platform. Even we are a little bit kind of like, wow, this is some healthy activity in the platform. Not only are more brokers engaged in using LoanNEX, yes, that's true, or originators across the board, the cores and wholesale are using LoanNEX. But I think I've done webinars before where we talk about the percentage of brokers that are doing non-QM, and it steadily has been going up. 5%, 7%, 9%, 11%. I think we're like in the 12, 13%. We're not even close to anywhere in the top. There's a ton of opportunity out there to add these programs into your arsenal, as an originator. The chart on the right kind of shows what type of loans are being done in this particular in non-QM. 62% of them are purchase, 38% of them are refinance. A bunch of those refinance are cash out refis. We see that. You probably see that on your side too,
Yes,
Eileen. Is that
for
true?
sure.
Yeah. And then bank statement is slowly coming up. We're seeing more and more, and the programs are becoming more and more aggressive. You guys offer some bank statement programs, right, Eileen?
We do. We have two separate bank statement programs that are really starting to take off, and it's funny because your chart on the left shows kind of the trajectory of where I'm seeing gross locks come in. I think there's definitely more activity in the business as a whole, but having a tool such as LoanNEX to be able to run the scenarios, and I quote you all the time on the demystifying non-QM, because it's just a perfect way to explain what non-QM, what LoanNEX does with non-QM. And I've sat myself and run hundreds of scenarios just to kind of figure out what it's doing. It's fast, it's easy, it's dynamic. And I think the broker world that has been not as familiar with this product is getting comfortable with non-QM through LoanNEX and potentially other tools. But I really think that this tool helps really demystify it and get comfortable with it. I know I see you're doing a lot of DSCR. We're going to be rolling that out over the summer. And that's been, obviously a huge percentage of your business.
Yeah, it has. I mean, the investment properties, the DSCR investment properties has been a big part of non-QM. There are a lot of investors out there. They're rolling their equities and then that they have in one property into new properties, and using the debt service coverage ratio as a way to, you know, if the income from the property is good, the Airbnb world has kind of blown up, so there's a lot of investment going on there. But yeah, we're pretty exciting to see what the investors are talking about. They're all excited about it. Can't wait till your DSCR program comes out. I think that'll be great.
Yeah, I know. We are very excited about it. I know there's a lot of investors that have interest in that product, and the product itself warranted its own conference this year in January, so it's that popular.
It is that popular. I mean, look at these charts on the purchase. Look at the income doc types right here. 40% of them are DSCR, and so full doc is 20% on the purchase side. If on the left hand side here, we see 23% of them are bank statements. This other is P&Ls. For we see a lot of P&L type of volume that comes in. So we like to note it. On the refi side, look what's happening. People are pulling out their money, refinancing, cashing out some of their money from their investment properties and buying more investment properties. So pretty exciting stuff. Love to show these kind of income doc trends on purchase and refi to give everybody a little bit of feel of what's happening out there. And also there's something that you said that I want to touch on. You said that it's, our system very easy to navigate. Well, on top of that, it's free to you guys, right? For core lenders that want to have a LoanNEX, Flagstar sponsors you guys having a free LoanNEX account. For brokers who want to use LoanNEX, you come to LoanNEX, you don't have to pay anything to get in it. If you want to get into the broker marketplace, there's a small fee that's associated with it. But if you're in LendingPad, it's free to you in LendingPad. So use these tools, that are out there. The lenders and the investors and the banks like Flagstar are sponsoring these tools for the originators. If I was originating, I sure would take advantage of all of these free tools that are being offered to me to help grow my business. So.
I've encouraged, our account executives, and I'm sure our clients out there have encouraged their teams to do so as well. But one of the things that you mentioned earlier, the guidelines are in there. Everything's there in one nice, neat place. You can save scenarios, and you can literally get to know a product just by playing with the scenarios and understand kind of what you can and cannot do. And again, demystifying non-QM, demystifying the products themselves and what the eligibility is.
Yeah, I talked to sellers. This is a slide that kind of shows you the seller engagement. This is core sellers that are in our in our platform. But you see the steady rise of core sellers that are. Give me just a second here.
Is that you buzzing there?
Yeah, that was just my team. My team is trying to get a hold of me, and I'm in a group chat. So it's
like not now.
Yeah. So anyway, our sell side engagement has grown because of these things. And you mentioned a couple of things. We put everything right in line in there for you. Not only do we show you the programs, once you run a scenario, what programs that scenario is eligible for, the rate and the price information, easy access to the full rate stack, easy access to the loan level pricing adjustments. But we also give you kind of a quick look into the eligibility boundaries of that loan program. You could click on this little icon and it'll pop up like a little mini AUS, which will show you, hey, these are the boundaries of the program. So do I fall within the boundaries? Where am I falling out? Which programs am I ineligible for? You can click on a button and see which programs you're ineligible for and why you're ineligible. And you get to access, if you do want to look at the matrices or the guidelines, they're right there in line. We show them to you. You click on a little icon that looks like a little page, and it'll take you directly to the guidelines. So we make it so it's extremely easy and extremely available. Everything's available to you right through the pricing engine. You don't have to go hunt and peck around and go to different things and go to someone's website to go get the guidelines and matrices or whatnot. It's all there, right there in LoanNEX to be
And
able
I
to do.
know we've provided 2 trainings so far, and then we're going to get another one in the books probably for June or July. But it is pretty intuitive, and we have recorded sessions. If you want to see those, you can reach out to your AE to tap into the recorded sessions we've done before. But
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
going.
So yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. We will be doing more of that. We've had 2 broker trainings, and hopefully, Eileen, you can join us, or we could do 2 more right through the end of the year. But yeah, I would encourage every broker to come on and see those trainings, and we could show you how to use the platform. But it will be really easy to do. But Eileen, tell me. Why did Flagstar, you talk about getting into non-QM. Flagstar was not in non-QM until last year, right? At some point.
Correct.
So tell us, what was the business decisioning? What was going on at Flagstar where you said, hey, we need to get into non-QM?
And it's actually fairly unique for a bank of our size to have, products such as these. We do offer them and we do sell them on, but we wanted to be able to um, look at our current environment and see where the opportunities are and provide our clients with one-stop shopping at Flagstar to give them as many options as possible. There's many scenarios where you have a loan falling out of an agency product or even an FHA product that then will qualify on the advantage, our advantage side. We
Yeah,
call all of our non-QM products advantage. So they'll qualify there. So it's a natural progression for us to be able to expand that menu of products and really provide our account executives and our clients the depth and breadth of the products in the market.
yeah, I think that's right, and I hear that all the time. I do have the opportunity to talk to originators a lot, and um, some of them, I go to these conferences and we talk to the originators, and they're like, I don't, I'm not sure if I can, what non-QM is, and I've been doing agency, I feel comfortable there, but their pipelines are drying up. So I'm like, why don't you just take your fallouts and run them through, your a partner, run them through the broker marketplace and see if there's any, if your borrower qualifies for any non-agency programs, and they always come back to me and say, "Wow,
And rates
why do
are higher, but they're not dramatically higher,
yeah,
like in, old subprime world. There's a spread of maybe, 50 to 250 basis points depending on the scenario, but there's a much more there's a much wider opportunity to get that loan qualified by offering these types of products. And Flagstar recognizes the importance of offering these products to our clients while taking advantage of the same service levels that we provide for everything else.
yeah." Well, what do you see? What do you see the future for Flagstar? I know you said you're bringing in DSCR here in the summer, but how I was really impressed when we did your AE training, kind of the structure of your TPO group. I think that's an interesting thing to talk about, because your AEs are there ready to help your partners, your broker partners, and your core partners really become familiar with these products. So you have the tools that you're offering with LoanNEX, like us, and then you also have this human infrastructure.
Yeah, we've had loan officers that have been with us for, 17, 18 years, and they know Flagstar, they know how it operates, and they're advocates for each of their clients. We're spread throughout the entire country. I know most of them pretty well at this point. They're coming to me and we're discussing different scenarios and, trying to figure out how to structure loans. we do a lot of one-on-one training with each of our clients, and we kind of go through the depths of some of the different products. In coming months, we will also have a bank statement calculator tool available,
Yeah.
which has become prominent in the industry as far as giving the brokers and correspondents kind of a way to calculate that income instantly versus kind of having to have the tedious look at each of the bank statements themselves. So that's become pretty prominent. So all of those things, along with, hopefully spring buying season, the market kind of, becoming a little more stable, and just kind of really continuing to be, get the pulse on the market. And using LoanNEX, we had the vision last year that that would be part of what we did and how we're going to be able to get our products exposed. And the nice thing is that, we are now up to people running like 5,000 scenarios a month.
Yeah.
My April report showed me, almost 5,000 scenarios, and we started with like 50. So I know people are using it. They must be getting more comfortable with it. We're seeing more volume, and it's really been an incredible resource for us.
Yeah. And, maybe we should talk about some of the um, future projects that we're working on. One of the things that I talked about earlier is that we do full lock management, but we also are doing some very unique projects. And with Flagstar, we're in discussion and working with their technology team and their product team to make it so you can submit or register a file directly from LoanNEX to the correspondent portal or the wholesale portal. Now, there's some development work that needs to be done there. We're still ironing these things out, but I think these are really exciting discussions to make LoanNEX an even more efficient platform where brokers and cores can go to right in their core accounts and register and get the initial lock request directly from.
Yeah, right now we have our temporary solution, which is the hyperlink into our system with some, I'm not sure, some potentially pre-filled information. But yeah, the long-term vision is to make that experience, much smoother, much more robust. And then, we also want to add in, lender paid
Yeah.
option for our clients as well. So, because we're not able to do that right now. You're getting ready to release that in coming months, correct?
Yes, we are. We will have a lender paid comp solution here in a couple of months. I think it's like 60 days out that we will have that
Okay.
available in the platform.
So if we have this conversation again in like September, October, hopefully all these things that we're talking about, we will have made, some movement there, including
Absolutely.
rolling out the products that I talked about earlier. Well,
Yeah.
that's great. Any final words? I think we're kind of getting up against the end here. Any final words that you want to say? And if
Yeah.
anybody has a question, please put them in the post.
Yeah, I do want to say these, I cannot stress enough that these tools, LoanX is being offered to you by your partner here, Flagstar, for free. And it is a wonderful tool. When I came to work for this company, I really kind of kicked the tires hard on it a little bit because I really wanted to make a difference in non-QM, and I wanted to come work for a company that was doing something unique. I came from a company where we did AUS solutions, and I thought there's more to be done. There's more to be done in non-QM, and LoanX is the company that's doing it. These tools are available to you. They are a great way for you to really increase your business, expand your business, and not have to worry about having to learn something completely new. We do that work for you, and we make it easy for you. So please go to flagstarws.loanx.com, register for your own little sandbox environment that you can get there. If you're a correspondent lender, contact us at support@loanx.com, or my email that's been rolling across the screen here. You can contact me directly, and we will get you set up in your own account, and we will turn on all the investors that you're working with in your account. So it's a great way for you to have an additional tool that will help you navigate these programs and products in non-QM.
Well,
I've really,
thanks, Raj.
I've,
I really appreciate you coming on here with us today. You have a rest of great day. I know you're driving to your son's graduation. You're hanging up and running out the door. So,
yes.
congratulations with your son's graduation from college. And thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And just to kind of a couple of final notes here, we will be skipping Flex Series in June, taking a little bit of a breather in June, and then we'll be back in July on July 11th at 2 p.m. So please make sure you sign up. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.